Hey everybody, it's Peg, and today's video is the sped up version from Art Joy is Sharing Live, which is another channel where Chelsea and I do a live show each Thursday, 10:30 Central Time. Come and join us there if you want to see the full version. And today we are working on artist trading cards because we have a pick-a-stick challenge that we do in our Facebook group, which is also by the same name, Art Joy is Sharing. And if you want to join us, be sure and check us out and answer the questions so that we know you are legit and want to join the group. So the thing that we do with artist trading cards, typically the pick-a-stick challenge has more prompts to it, but because artist trading cards don't have a lot of real estate on them, we make it 3 prompts, a wild card, and a color. So the first artist trading card challenge steps are oval, quirky, glue. The wild card is bird, and the color is cerulean blue. So I'm going to use these. These are Yupo pieces that I did on another video a couple of weeks ago when we first started getting ready to do artist trading cards every day. These are done with Stencil Girl stencil, which is made for artist trading cards. This particular design comes from Seth Apter, and many of you know who Seth is and you know what his designs are like, so they're really pretty cool. And you get 9 individual artist trading card designs on one stencil, so it's a really good value. These are other Stencil Girl stencils that I have cut into pieces. Because the first prompt is oval, I'm going to use a piece from another stencil and some blue archival ink in a manganese blue color, which is very close to the cerulean color that we're looking for the month. You know, everything doesn't have to match perfectly, but we're using these as prompts to work through the process. So I have my background on Yupo. I've done the first prompt, which is oval, and the second prompt is quirky. So I'm showing them these quirky birds that I had done on another video and showed you how to create these creatures and cut them out and use them on your journal pages and how I store them and all that sort of thing. I'll try to remember to link the video in here. If I forget, you know, shoot me a comment. I'll try to put it up there for you. So I'm going to grab some paper. I'm just talking to the audience because it is a live show, and Shell is there with me too. So I'm going to get my Stabilo All, and I'm using this piece of paper because it is an artist trading card size, and I don't want to go outside of the lines when I draw this crazy bird. I just want it to stay within the confines of the artist trading card. So I have a brush. These are Pentel brushes, water reservoir brushes, and I've got one that's clogged up, so I'm going to have to soak it and see if I can get it cleaned out. I'm changing tips, and what I'm going to do is activate the ink that comes from that pencil, and then I use a cloth to wipe the excess black off onto, because you know your brush is going to get saturated with the color from the pencil, and you know where you want it shaded or grayer, you have to clean your brush off to eliminate that carryover. Once I get that all wet down with my water reservoir brush, I'm going to hit it with a heat tool, and that's going to set that onto the paper so that it's permanent. And then I'm going to grab some watercolor brushes. These are Nuvo brushes, and they have an ink inside the brush. And then I'm also going to get some other water reservoir brushes that I filled with other types of ink, whether it's Diane Reevely or whoever. You know, if you have these fluid inks, you can put them into these brushes and keep refilling them, and you don't have to keep buying brushes if you already have the inks. So I'm looking through here, trying to find the colors that I want to use. I want kind of a brown and an orange and, things that are going to contrast or show up with the background that we've created here. And I found a brown Stabilo All pencil. I'm going to put some of that brown in there with the pencil. And then I'm going to add some orange and some yellow and, just brighten this bird's plumage up. So if you're not part of the group and you'd like to be part of the group, seek us out. If you want to see what other people are doing on social media, use the hashtags. Someone in the group this morning was talking about they wanted them to come and look at a video that they had done on YouTube, but nobody seemed to be able to find them. And I said, well, then use the hashtag. If you use the hashtag, people are going to be able to find you. And especially if you're in our group, if you are in Art Joy is Sharing, the appropriate place to post it is get your video link and post it over in Art Joy is Sharing Facebook group, and then everybody in the Facebook group can find your video and they can watch your video. So, yeah, just think about how we communicate with each other on social media, and we're trying to make it easy for you by giving you these hashtags to use. You might be a new channel, people may not know you, they may not be able to find you, but if you're part of our group, which is getting to be a pretty large group, we're about 2,000 now, they can find you just by putting your video and link into the group. So I'm just fussy cutting around my quirky bird. He is sure funny. I can't remember what somebody was saying about him, but yeah, there were comments about my quirky bird. And of course, the next prompt falls right in with this because prompt number 3 is glue. Well, what do I do once I fussy cut something out? Well, I have to glue it down. And since I'm going to glue this onto a piece of Yupo paper that has ink, alcohol ink, and other types of ink and all that on it, I am not going to use a real wet glue. I am going to use a dry glue, which means I'm going to go for my Yoo-Hoo glue stick and glue that silly bird down. So now I'm grabbing some StazOn ink. I don't want the white of the paper, the cut edge of the paper to show. So I'm just going to go around the edge of my image with that black StazOn and darken that. Be the same thing as if you were putting a shadow on your page. And what next? Oh yes, glue. Gonna get my glue, get a drink of coffee, gonna talk to the audience, and talk to Shell because Shell had her buddy Cindy there with her today, and we all wanted to say hello to Cindy. So this one is, we had actually 2 ATC a day card challenges this month, and we're going to get both of them done during the show. This is just the first one. So I'm going to glue that down. I look at it and I start thinking, this silly bird needs some real feathers. So I know all of you are like me and you have all kinds of things in your stash, and feathers are no exception. I have all kinds of feathers because they're fun to embellish on cards and whatever you're doing, they're fun to use. So there's my bird, and I'm going to get some feathers for his wings, and I'm probably going to put a top notch on him, give him a little crested feather top. They're a little bit long. Not sure what kind of bird these came from, but you can get them in the craft store. Probably no birds were harmed creating this. These are things that are part of their normal recycling process. They've got birds that are molting or they're plucking, and they pick them up and they put them in a package and they sell them to you. Yeah, they'll sell you feathers. They'll sell you about anything in a craft store, right? So I decide this also needs to say something. And I'm going to use my Pilot Multi-Ball pen. This is my new favorite fine line writing pen that goes over just about everything. And so I'm going to use it to write just perfect, because this little bird is just quirky enough to be perfect. And I'm going to get some rhinestones because, you know, he's got to have a few rhinestones over his eye. You've seen those girls that get their makeup on and they're putting rhinestones on their eyelashes and stuff. Yeah, you can have them too. Why not? Any fun? I had a lot of fun making that card. Okay, so now I am taking a photograph because I'm going to need to post that on our Facebook group. And I'm also going to need to post it in other places where I use the hashtag, which would be like Instagram or, you know, if you're doing Pinterest or any of that. And, you know, feel free. If you like this and you want to pin it to a page, feel free to do that. Helps our channel, helps me to get the word out about what we're doing, and we appreciate you. So, the other thing is it's a way of contributing to a community without having to contribute money. Now, there are ways to contribute money if you want to, you know, because art supplies are not cheap. There is a PayPal link down below where you don't have to have a PayPal account. All you have to do is follow the PayPal link and drop whatever coinage you want in there to thank us for what we do each week. And we also have Amazon affiliate links. So if you're going shopping, okay, doesn't have to be shopping with anything that I have. If you're going shopping on Amazon, all you have to do is click on that, do your shopping, and then I get a few cents for everything that you buy just because I have an affiliate link. So it's another way of supporting artists. So, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about anybody that's got those things. If you're watching their videos, go click on those things if you're going to go shop. You know, support an artist, support a broke artist. You know, we always laugh about being starving artists, but it's true, folks. You know, they take our money to buy the supplies, but don't always have the money for replacing everything. So, I am starting on my second artist trading card, and the color on the second artist trading card is black. So I thought, well, I'll just use a black background. And I had this old calendar that I was going to use, the page on the calendar, and then I started looking at the other prompts, and the first prompt on this one is pen. Well, that wasn't where I was headed. So I get out my big Jot marker and a stencil from Stencil Girl Products, and I'm just going to color through that stencil with that pen and create some texture on another Yupo background, which has black alcohol ink on it, and I'm using a black pen. So there, I got my black color and my pen done, and then the prompt number 2 says trowel. Okay. I'm going to get some texture paste. This is an Ann Butler paste. It's got gold shimmer in it. And I'm going to get another Stencil Girl ATC stencil, and I'm going to trowel some of that through the stencil onto the background. And I will have met step number 2. And you see how we just do these in order. 1, 2, 3. If you don't like 1, 2, 3, then you can substitute one of the wild cards. Or you can use all of them. I mean, on these today, I used all of the steps and the color and the wild card. You can do it the way you like, but I'm just showing you how you can make this your own. So I have to clean that off of my stencil because that stuff is going to, you know, stick like glue, and we don't want that. We want it to come off with a stencil. I mean, you can use ink and stuff like that without having to clean it, but if you're using some kind of molding paste or something like that, you want to be sure and clean your stencil right away so that it doesn't make ridges. So I'm trying to dry this down with a cool hair dryer. But because that stuff is so thick, it's not drying very well. So I decided I'm just going to take another piece of card. I'm going to press it on there and pick up some of that extra paste that's extra thick. I'm still going to have an image on there, but now I've got two for the price of one. I've taken some of that off, and maybe I can get that paste to dry down, because it's only an hour and a half show, guys. I can't be here all day with you, so I have to get this done. So I'm gonna dry it. I'm not gonna hold that heat on there very long because it is Yupo, and what does Yupo do? It's plastic. It will melt and warp. So I think I finally got that dried down, and what I decided to do for prompt number 3, which is bleach, is go to, I searched on the internet about bleach a little bit, and I found out that there is a series, a bleach manga series, which is a Japanese anime series, and the character or the name of it is Bleach. So I thought, okay, I'll just put one of those characters on my artist trading card. The story behind it is kind of interesting. So if you're interested in it, just search Bleach manga series on Google. It talks about soul reapers and how they're trying to protect souls from the hollows, and it's a series, right? All about souls and protection and all of that. So I used a die cut. This was part of the thing, which was wild card, which is die cut. I'm reading about the whole series there to the people in the audience because they may not know about this particular deal either. And I am going to use my label maker, and I'm going to write the word protect, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to glue it on, because that's what they're doing, is they're protecting souls. And that will be both of the artist trading card challenges my way for the month of June. If you want to know what Shell did, go over and check out her fast video on her channel, or you can see the whole thing live, hour and a half long video on Art Joy Sharing. So I'm just going around the edge with a little black ink, getting a little bit of border, coming back with the pen, adding a little bit of illustration, and number 2 will be finished, and I can snap a photo of that one. We still have about 15 minutes of the show left. And the other challenge that I'm doing this month is iCAD. The iCAD challenge comes to us from Daisy Yellow. That's Tammy Garcia at daisyyellowart.com. It's a 61-day creative challenge, and you're doing an index card every day for 61 days, for 2 months. And there are other things that you can add to it. There's a Facebook group. There's, hashtags on social media. So like if you go and look at Instagram and use the hashtag, you are going to find index cards. Lots and lots of index cards. And if you put in other years, you're going to find index cards from other years. So if you look at Art Joy Sharing Facebook group, I think the thumbnail for the group has a bunch of my index cards from previous years. Anyway, that's just another challenge. There's lots of art challenges out there. If you're interested in hashtags, go search social media. You're going to find a bunch. So I'm going to glue some rhinestones on the lashes of my little quirky bird, jazz him up a bit, give him a little bling bling. And my gem picker doesn't seem to be picking up the gems, so I don't know what's happened with that. It's not sticking to the gem. But if anybody has suggestions, let me know what's going on with that. Maybe you got some ways of fixing it. But yeah, I might be in line for a new gem picker. I don't know. So I'm gonna line these up, and then I'm going to move on to finishing off some of those iCads, because we've got about 15 minutes left of the show, and we go for an hour and a half. We try to keep it right at an hour and a half if we can, and because everybody's got stuff to do. So there's the bird, and I'll give you some parting shots when we wrap this up. So here are some backgrounds. I have different colors of index cards, and I've just splashed a little bit of F&W acrylic ink onto these backgrounds, playing around, just using what I have, showing you how I'm going to line them up to fasten them together. I'm just using another card so that they're in the right spot, so I can just use my hole punch and punch those holes out. And then I think I'm going to get some embossing powder and some stamps. I have this cute tray that a friend of mine had made and given to me, and it's full of these lovely Emerald Creek embossing powders that they'd sent me when I was on their design team, and I need to use some. So I got this luscious purple. It's kind of like a pearlized powder when you heat it. And I thought it would go well with that purple ink that's already splashed on the card. And I was not disappointed, I'll tell you. I'm going to heat that up and just give it a good blast. And we'll see if you can see the shimmer and shine on that. And then I'm going to grab another one. I've got the Seth Apter. I think it's called Crimson. And it's different. It's red, but it's translucent. And I thought, well, isn't that kind of nifty? Because you can still see the layers underneath. That sneaky Seth, he's always coming up with something good. So I stamp Wendy Becky text stamp on there, and then I'm going to, these are background stamps. And I have a whole bunch of background stamps just in a tray. And I don't have them wood mounted because I use them a lot of different ways. I flex them, I bend them, I, don't really want a great big stamp on a wood block. I just want to use the rubber. So I embossed that. We're about at the end of the show. I want to thank you for having been with me and watched today's fast version of Art Joy Sharing Live. And I will put some parting shots in here. Remember to give it a thumbs up and like, share, subscribe. I'll see you again next time. Bye, guys.